Hi guys, it's Bebe. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry if I look or sound a little off. I am battling some kind of sickness right now. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's COVID, but I'm just not feeling my best self. So if I sound icky, look a little icky, you know the vibe. But I have to get this video out because Ember Shores is very close. I feel like last year and this year I've had the same attitude of like, oh, it's in December, I have so much time, like I'm not stressed. And then Thanksgiving comes around and I'm like, oh, it's next week. Yeah, Ember Shores is the weekend after Thanksgiving, which honestly is really rude because I stuff my face on Thanksgiving and gain like 5 pounds and then have to go to a festival where I wear a bikini all weekend, so that honestly is a hate crime. But today I'm gonna do a first timer guide for Ember Shores. If you are going for the first time, I am so excited for you. This is easily one of my favorite festivals. It is just such a different vibe from anything I've been to. I love destination festivals. After going to this one, I want to go to so many more. And the fact that it's artist curated, all like melodic bass and bass music. There is still some other genres, but it's mostly melodic bass is just like my calling, and it's a beautiful setting. There's nothing like it. So if this is your first time, I'm very excited for you. And for all my fellow people who are returning, I'm so excited as well because I will be going back. So I've been getting some questions if I'm going. I am. I'm going to be giving you guys like every detail possible because I feel like last year we didn't really get that much information before we went, and we were all a little nervous because it was a first year festival. Like they didn't give us a ton of detail about checking in, checking out, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna get into like the finest details possible so that you can be the most prepared, because there are some things and pointers that you should definitely know. Just to show the lineup really quick, I'm going to be doing a review in a separate video for this. I know I said I was going to do one for EDC Orlando like I always do. Guys, I'm sorry, life got in the way. I couldn't get around to it. That was a hefty lineup to dissect, but I will do a video on this one, and I'm pretty stoked about this lineup. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're not already so that you can be notified when that drops. I'm gonna go over the check-in and the checkout process really quick and like the arrival into Mexico part of things so that you're super prepared for that. First and foremost, do not forget your passport, please, for the love of God. That's the #1 thing you need to have on you. Don't forget it. You get your festival wristband when you're there, so you don't need to worry about forgetting a wristband, but please don't forget your passport. So once you land in Cancun, of course, if you're coming from the US, which most people are, you have to go through customs, or if you're coming from any country outside of Mexico, you're gonna go through customs. They didn't ask too many questions. I think all they asked me was, are you here for business or pleasure? How many days are you here for? And I believe they asked me what resort I was staying at. So just remember, you're going to the Paradisus. They know all the resorts in Cancun. It's very common. Tourism is a big thing there, so just make sure you know the name of the resort is the Paradisus. Once they stamp your passport and ask you whatever questions, you're gonna go through the airport and out of the terminal. Once you leave the terminal, super important, there is a shuttle service specifically for Ember Shores that is already included in your festival package price, so it's already paid for. When you leave the terminal, you are going to be bombarded by people trying to sell you a taxi ride. Just ignore them. It's very hectic and loud and overwhelming. Just like tunnel vision, look for people holding signs that say Ember Shores. Look for those people. They will take you to a designated spot where our shuttles run. So just ignore all the chaos when you leave the airport and look for that. And these are actual coach buses, which is really nice because it's like a 20 to 30 minute ride to the resort, I want to say. So it's super comfy, very easy, fit a lot of people. And then when you pull up to the resort, keep in mind with all of this, this is for a Friday arrival, because if you do anything more than Friday, it's like an extra night. So the designated like time of the festival is 3 days. I'm doing Friday again this year. I was really stressed about it last year, but I'm telling you, it's very easy. They have the process down packed for this festival. It's very organized. I'm hoping it's that way again this year. So if you're stressed about getting there the day of, don't be. They literally planned for that for most people to do, because obviously it's an extra cost to do more nights. Once you get to the resort, they're gonna take all your luggage off of the shuttle and into the resort for you in a designated area while you go and check in. So now getting into the check-in process at the resort, There's a really large like ballroom slash conference room, very typical like hotel looking one, where you're gonna check in. People are gonna be directing you where to go, so it's very easy, but you're gonna go up and they're gonna copy your passport. This year there's no COVID paperwork, so it's a lot easier, but they're gonna take a copy of your passport and they're gonna give you a bracelet, and this bracelet is your room key. I actually think I still have mine from last year. Yes, okay, so this is what it looked like last year. Ignore my nails, you guys. I have to get them done really bad. I don't even want to hold this up because they're so embarrassing. Okay, it looks like this. So this is your room key. So basically you want to make sure that it's tight enough on your wrist, and when you go to your door you just tap it and you're good to go. It'll unlock your door. Super nice, because then you don't have to carry around a hotel key with you everywhere you go, so that's awesome. And then they're also going to give you just a regular festival wristband. This was ours last year. It just looks like any old festival wristband, so that's like your festival pass. Also last year they gave us a really cute little swag bag. I don't know if they're going to do that again, but it was like a cute little luggage tag, a koozie, an electric family bracelet that was like exclusive to Ember Shores. It was very cute. I'm hoping they do that again, but we'll see. And then obviously depending on what time you get there, so I pulled up, I want to say we got to the resort at like 12 or 1. The rooms are not going to be ready until like 3-ish, so they had designated like hospitality rooms where you could get changed to just go to the pool, because the music starts at noon if your room wasn't ready yet, which ours wasn't. But we had, last year I had friends who got there Thursday night, so we just went and put our luggage in their room and got changed, and then went down for the start of the festival. And then around like 3 or 4 p.m. we went back up, got our shit, moved it to our new room. So it's very easy. Just, yeah, if you're getting there earlier Friday, be prepared for your room not to be ready, so you're gonna have to just like dump your stuff, get changed, and go to the pool. So going to the resort now, obviously like I said, this is the Paradisus in Cancun. It is a 5-star resort and it is beautiful. It really is breathtaking. When I walked in last year I was like, oh my god, this was so worth the money, obviously because this is a very expensive festival. It's very worth the cost. The rooms are lovely. Housekeeping cleans them every day. Your mini fridge is restocked every day. The one thing to note for first timers is that the resort can kind of feel like a maze, because basically the way it's laid out is like there's the middle like atrium, and then there's like 4 pyramids that break off of that. You'll see when you pull up to the resort, it just like looks like a bunch of pyramids. So your rooms are numbered by what pyramid you're in, not what floor you're on. That was very confusing for us when we first got there. So the higher priced rooms face the beach and the pool, which if you're lucky you'll likely be able to hear and see the music from your balcony, which is sick. And then the lower priced rooms face inwards to like the lagoon or just the general grassy areas of the resort, which is what I did. And honestly, fine by me. I did not spend a lot of time in the room. So, but yeah, the rooms in the resort is beautiful. So definitely, you know, go explore. And obviously now to get into the all-inclusive part, we're going to talk about food and drink. Everything is all-inclusive except for some restaurants are not, but every restaurant you have to make a reservation for, so you will find out in doing that if it is all-inclusive. But we just used the buffet all weekend. We did 1 dinner reservation, and honestly we're not going to do it again unless you have a couple sets like back-to-back at night that you're really not keen on seeing. I don't think the restaurants are worth it. The one we did was all-inclusive, which was nice because at least we didn't have to pay for it. The festival is just so fast-paced and there's just music all day and night, so stopping to sit down like at a restaurant was just weird. Like we could like still like hear the music outside and we were like, okay, like we really want to go back down. Like it was honestly not something that I or my group wants to do again. Also by that point you've been drinking like all day, so a lot of people were extremely drunk at that dinner table, so it just was not the vibe overall. It just wasn't our finest idea. If you guys have seen the vlog, you know it was a little messy.
I'm leaving in a coffin.
So the buffet is what like everyone uses for every meal. The breakfast at the buffet is really, really good. The lunch and dinner is like okay. I don't know, it's nothing great. I also don't eat meat, so it's a little trickier for me. It's self-served like a buffet, but they have servers do your drinks while you're there, which is nice. So they'll bring you water and stuff. They do mimosas in the morning at breakfast, which is lovely. And they also keep the buffet open after the last set ends at 11, the last like beach stage set, for a couple of hours for like late night food and snacks. So if you didn't manage to like find a time to eat dinner per se after the beach sets end, it's still open for like some snacky stuff. Another thing to know about the buffet is that the lines can be really long to get in sometimes. The way we strategize with this is like there was always one set every night at the beach stage that like we weren't crazy about seeing, so we would use that like hour to go and eat dinner, and obviously because everyone's at the beach stage the line was way shorter. So I highly recommend doing that to make sure that you find time to eat. Another thing very important to know, you can drink the water and the ice at this resort. All of the water in the restaurants, in the buffet, and the ice at the bars is filtered. It's from filtered water. They also have bottled water at every bar, and your mini fridge gets restocked with bottled water, so make sure you use that to brush your teeth. Let me emphasize that again. Make sure you use bottled water to brush your teeth. If you don't know about the tap water in Mexico, go Google it. It's not safe to drink. You even have to be careful like in the shower when it's getting in your mouth, brushing teeth. Go with caution. That's all I will say. But as far as the water in the restaurants, like in the buffet that they bring you, and at the bar, like ice and the drinks, don't be worried about that. It's all filtered. So that is a huge relief, because obviously Mexico, a lot of resorts, it's not that way. So also a thing to know about bars is that they have a bar open on the beach when those sets start late at night, and those lines get really long because it's the bar that's obviously right there, so everyone goes to it. So if you're gonna wait in that line, make it worth your while and get 2 drinks, or get like a drink and a shot while you're up there, because the line is so slow and it's really annoying. But during the day there are multiple pool bars. You don't really run into that issue as much. There's also servers walking around the pool area with drinks and like taking orders, so that's super convenient. Just to quickly touch on weather, because obviously it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to Cancun. It's very hot during the day, but pretty much everyone's at the pool all day because that's where the music is. There's only ever one stage operating at a time, so during the day it's the pool stage. So it's really easy to cool off because you have the water. Just know that it is extremely humid, so if you're not used to that, definitely be prepared. I'm from New York, so we have very humid summers. Wasn't really anything crazy to me, but if you're not used to that, definitely keep that in mind. Like ladies, the hair and the makeup, you gotta bring stuff that like can combat the frizziness and the makeup melting off, just as a little heads up. It definitely does cool down at night, but not too much. Like I would just throw a jersey over my bikini and that was it, and I was totally fine. Also, just to talk about like outfits very briefly, all I did every day was I just wore a bikini and like a bucket hat and some slides, and then once the sun went down, or like once the pool sets were over and the beach sets started, I would run to my room, get a jersey, freshen up, and that was it. That's what I wore every single day. Some girls go all out with the pool party type fits and the makeup. If that's your thing, absolutely go for it, queen. I didn't really wear much makeup at all weekend because of the humidity, and it just wasn't really the vibe for me, but I was also in the water a lot. To each their own, but for me personally, I took it very casually, just a bikini, jersey, that was it. Moving on to production and layout. So like I said before, there's only ever one stage going on at a time. So during the day it's the pool stage, once it's sunset into night it's the beach stage, and then late night is the atrium, which is inside the resort, right in the middle. If you want a good spot at the pool for the day, you have to get there early in the morning to claim it. Please do not intrude other people's spots who have been there all day. This was like such a thing last year. People would like try to get into other spots that people had since like 9 in the morning. So just keep that in mind, be respectful. There are also, for the beach sets at night, there's cabanas like along the pool that you could pay to rent out to watch the beach sets. I have no idea how much it cost. Last year I just got lucky and someone was kind enough to let me and my friends in, so I actually don't know how much that costs, but it's a very cool view. So if you're into that, I would look into how much it is. The atrium stage, which is the late night stage, goes until like 3, 4 in the morning. So there's truly music all day and night. Definitely do not sleep on these late night sets because it's pretty much always just illenium going back to back with other artists on the lineup. It's super cool and chill. Like, you can just tell it's a bunch of, like, they're all friends, just want to DJ together. Much more casual environment. It does run very late though, so I would bring sleeping earplugs because you don't know where your room is going to be in terms of like how close in proximity to the atrium. So just definitely bring some sleeping earplugs. Also, something to know just quickly about the lineup and artists in general. I don't know if they're going to do this again, but last year they had a designated time every day for artist meet and greets. So you could actually go and talk with the artists that were on the lineup. So if that's your thing, definitely bring like, and you want something signed, definitely bring a Sharpie. I went one day and I met Blank, I met Jason Ross, and I think that was it. I think those are the only 2 people I talked to, but it's super cool just to like talk and chill with them because obviously it's a much smaller festival, so you're able to do that. So don't skip out on that. Last thing I want to talk about is just like the crowd and the vibes, what to expect. The vibes here are wonderful. Something to point out, I kind of touched on in production, is that all the sets are just like way more laid back, and you can tell it's all the artists just like they're on vacation too. Like, they're just like chilling, you know? So it's more of them just like hanging out, going back to back, and it's just something that you don't really get at other festivals. It's way more intimate of a vibe and just way more chill, which I absolutely love. And it's in paradise. It's in a beautiful tropical environment. Like, you can't beat that. I just love melodic bass crowds because it's such like a niche genre that everyone truly is there for the music. It's not like other general EDM artists where anyone will go just to like get fucked up and party. Melodic bass is very like, you're there because you like the music, you know what I mean? The only thing that bugs me about the crowd at this festival is that obviously it's an all-inclusive festival, so there is a lot of alcohol flowing all 3 days. So a lot of people in the crowd could be really messy and not exactly know their limit, or know their limit and just pass it anyways. Know your limit, please, because they are very generous with the alcohol at this festival, so please know that. However, I do love that it's a smaller crowd. I think the capacity of this festival is like 2,000 people, so it is so small. You run into the same people all weekend. You have way more room in the crowd. It's so much more like chill. It's so easy to make friends. I think, you know, if you're like me and you've been following illenium for a very long time, you've just like progressively seen the crowds get bigger and bigger at his festival sets and at his regular shows and like curated events. But particularly at the festival sets, like, the crowd has just gotten so filled with people who like don't really give a shit about his music and again are just there like to be fucked up or whatever. Ember Shores is like back to like the roots of being an illenium fan, I feel like, because I've been following him since Ashes, and I like went to the early tours and I just like missed that so much once he got really popular. And that's not anything personal to him, it happens to every artist, nothing to do with him. But I always was just like, oh, I miss the crowd at like the Awake tour, shit like that. And then I went to Ember Shores and Trilogy and I was like, this is what I miss. So that's the vibe at Ember Shores, which is so awesome if you're an illenium fan. And I'm just so excited to be back. I'm so excited. That is all my tips for Ember Shores. Again, if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. I will respond. I know there's a lot that goes into this festival, so it can be a little stressful preparing for it, but once you get there, you'll see the atmosphere is just so chill. It's so casual. And it's the best thing ever. So I cannot wait to be back. I will be vlogging all 3 days again, so again, subscribe to stay tuned for those videos. Some of my favorite vlogs from last year for sure. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you at Ember Shores, or I will see you in my next video. Peace.